Welcome everyone, Matiere Talk Time back again. I'm actually in the beautiful city of Parramatta, so west of Sydney. It's there's so much development going on around me. It's phenomenal. Western's kind of suburb, but it's coming to life. It's just there's so much energy. I'm actually on the middle of the main strip. They're actually creating this beautiful tram line. And I decided that this is the right shot. Have a look at my Instagram. You'll see me setting up. I'm flying solo. I even grabbed one of the construction people to sit here so that I can get a focus, because I couldn't get the focus right. All right, let me begin. So firstly, my mate today is actually a sparkling water. So it was a little bit too hard to bring everything out here. So cheers, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful drink. I am on the main strip, so we're gonna see how this plays out. I've got a lot of people walking past looking funny at me. I have a gentleman here to the right-hand side who is very animated, and so we may get to, we'll see how this plays out. I wanna start by saying a massive thank you to Mark, Aussie Fragrance. He connected me to, there is an Australian government channel here called the ABC. They reached out to him and wanted to see if he was interested in being able to do some filming. For Mark, it was hard because he's based in Queensland and they are based in Melbourne, which I also am based in Melbourne. And Mark actually referred them across to me. So I thank you for the generosity of spirit, Mark. Guys, if you are not familiar with Mark's channel, I'll put a link in the comments below, but he's an awesome reviewer. He covers all perfumes. Unlike me, as you know, I sort of just stick to niche perfumery. Now, ABC reached out and they did a segment on perfumes, and they wanted to know a little bit more about how does a perfume last, designation of different perfumes for the ABC, for their Facebook page. If you like the video, I'd love you to share it. So share it off the ABC page. I'd love you to share it. I'd love you to like it and put a little comment saying that, I don't know, say whatever you want. So that's the ABC. It's pretty exciting. I was actually, I was flattered. And I'm glad that the actual production turned out really well. It's getting a lot of views, a lot of great shares. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. All right, the next thing that I want to talk about is I had Kunal last week reach out from Mauritius, and he mentioned that he would like me to recommend some rose fragrances. Now, he did say 4. I have 3 for you, Kunal. Only because I've been carrying these fragrances with me, and 3 is a good number. The good news is rose fragrances instantly, so any ladies that are watching, this is instantly your domain. Rose is a beautiful floral, but it can be worn by men, and the 3 that I'm going to show you here are easily masculine and feminine, and I've given you a whole bunch of different sort of styles, so depending what you like. Let me start. Radical Rose. Now, for those who might not be familiar with the brand Matiere Premiere, I would strongly recommend to you, go check out their brand overall. Aurélien Guichard is the perfumer. He actually, he's like a 2nd or 3rd generation perfumer, and just incredible legacy. Now, one thing that he does that's unique to this particular fragrance here, Radical Rose, is he has his own organic rose farm in Grasse in France. And so the rose that goes into here is actually drawn from his own farm that he cares for, etc., etc. If you want a classic rose fragrance, one thing that Aurélien does is he's always about the purity of the note, and this fragrance here is all about the purity of rose as a note. It's not over the top, so it's not that cosmetic sort of grandma kind of rose. It's very subtle. A man can wear it. I'm actually wearing it today. It's beautiful on a day like today. It does have saffron as part of its construction, and what saffron does, it gives it a slight suede, leathery kind of tone to it. Anyway, Radical Rose, if you're not familiar with it, I'd strongly recommend it. Clean, classic rose scent, masculine, feminine, works really, really well. The next one, and I've been wearing all these the last few days. So this one I was wearing last night, actually no, the day before. This is BDK's TABAC Rose, another absolutely incredible fragrance. This is definitely more warm, This is more of an evening fragrance. This would work perfectly as your winter fragrance. Can you hear my homie? I just see where he is. All right. He was funny. He was right here and he's yelling profanities and I'm like, oh, how's this gonna work out? But anyway. So tobacco rose, as the name suggests, is exactly what it is. So there are tobacco components, so it has that warmth of the tobacco. But the rose is so it's not tobacco and rose. The two, there's an interplay between them. One of the key ingredients for me is that it does have a very fruity tone. It is sweet. It almost has a caramel vibe. Now, for my nose, I'm picking up like a caramel kind of feel to it. I know that there is chocolate within the actual construction of the fragrance, but as a winter fragrance, as a going out fragrance, as I said, I wore this 2 nights ago. It's very sensual. It has a beautiful sillage. As a date fragrance, this would be magic. Now, one thing that I've noticed that if I bring my nose, when I spray this, if I bring my nose to the fragrance, I am picking up more of the rose component of it, but the sillage of it, as I let it just sort of float around me, I'm getting the full composition, and that's where I'm getting a bit of rose, a bit of caramel, the sweet notes, the tobacco notes that are in there. So as an entire composition, just divine. It has a moderate sillage, and when it comes to longevity, it actually stays on me for quite a while. I'm getting about 5 or 6 hours out of this particular fragrance. Now the last one, I am a huge fan of all things AMOUAGE. This fragrance here is, I'm gonna spray it. I was wearing it yesterday. My goodness, yesterday here, today is glorious. Yesterday here in Parramatta, it was like winter. It was so cold. I felt like I was in some sort of, I thought there was snowing somewhere. It was that cold. It was ice cold. If you love incense in your fragrance, now the beautiful thing about this is that it's not, sometimes you find that they amplify, or some fragrances amplify that incense note, that it can be, if you're not comfortable with incense, it can be a little bit off-putting. You feel like you're in a church just surrounded by all that incense smoke. There is a smokiness to it, but it is so subtle, it is so sublime, and that rose, the interplay between the rose and the incense is pure magic. When it comes to longevity, when it comes to its sillage, when it comes to its performance overall, I mean, you really, AMOUAGE for me is probably at the pinnacle of all things perfumery. They take such great care in their fragrances. What I also love is that they utilize natural Omani ingredients, and I know that is true of this one here. I know that they've got olive balm or frankincense, which they source locally from Oman itself. But smoky incense, very subtle. The rose is very sublime. Just a glorious, easy masculine, easy feminine. Just like I said, I was wearing it yesterday. I wore it yesterday all day, and I woke up this morning. I could still smell the rose incense on me. So there you have it, 3 fragrances that I would recommend when it comes to all things rose. There is many more, but these 3 here, if you're new to rose, or if you want a sort of variation on rose, any one of these 3 will be fantastic. All right, let me move on. This video here, I'm pretty excited I'm gonna formally announce it now, so now that the cat's out of the bag. I'm in Sydney also to film alongside Michael from Libertine Parfumery. We have commenced the filming of these 5 different masterclasses that Libertine are going to offer off their website. So it's a bit of a collab that NFC is doing with Libertine. The idea is that you'll have an opportunity to buy into these masterclasses. They're online, so you do them at your time, at your leisure. They're pre-recorded. You will be sent, so when you book it, you'll be sent a gift set. Not a gift set, sorry, you'll be sent a sample set. It'll have all the fragrances in there, and you can follow alongside Michael and myself as we talk about these fragrances. Roja, so Roja Dove, Xerjoff, Matiere Premier, Creed, and Clive Christian. So 5 really just powerhouse brands. As I mentioned, Matiere Premier is probably the one that some people may not be aware of, but Michael and I both felt that it's something that we really need to shine a spotlight on. Aurélien Guichard's, his collection is just something phenomenal. So that's filming happened on Monday. We're going to start all post-production on that. The idea is that we'd like to get it all ready by the end of September. So come October, we can start releasing that and yeah, getting it out there. So I'm pretty excited. This is something completely new. This is something that is, yeah, I'm just excited. It's just, I think it'll be fun to be able to share this, allow people to now come in at their leisure, not be constrained by a particular time if you can't make it. You'll have all the advantage of hearing Michael, who is a perfume expert, share his amazing knowledge about the fragrances, but also I get the opportunity to smell and I guess from a perfume lover's point of view, take my perspective as to how I wear it, what I like about the fragrance to, I guess, support that particular conversation. And that's it, and that's it. In the end, I think that all worked out well. Like I said, I've had a lot of people looking at me doing double takes, like, what is this crazy man doing? But I just thought, look, I wanted to keep going with the Mate Talks, and to do it in my hotel room, boring, so hence why I'm out and about in beautiful Parramatta. Thanks everyone, look forward to your comments. Tell me for next week what fragrances. Actually, I like this, let me just put it out. I like you guys recommending fragrance notes to me and for me to come up with a lineup of fragrances that I would recommend. So I look forward to the next one. Thanks everyone, we'll see you guys all on the next Mate Talk.